Growing up, I didn't have much. I didn't even have enough to afford my own soccer shoes, to tell the truth. One of the biggest things I look for is commitment. What I expect from them as an athlete, it's hard worker, positive attitude, humble player. A hard worker can go a long ways. If you don't prepare yourself mentally and physically, you're not going to last long. If you do this at the high level, you'll probably get cut or you'll probably lose a paycheck. There's a huge difference. The way you train, the way you eat, the way you take care of your body. You're facing robots at that level. You're facing monsters, you're put into a cage with other lions.
Hey, how's it going? This is Antonio from A&M Private Training. In this second episode of our interview series, we have the honor of interviewing former LA Galaxy player and current Santa Ana College head coach for over 20 years, Jose Vasquez. Hope you enjoy it. Can you share your journey as a professional soccer player? And what were some of the highlights and challenges that you experienced?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's been a while, but I'll start off with some challenges. Growing up, I didn't have much, so that was one. I didn't even have enough to afford my own soccer shoes, to tell the truth. I grew up as a baseball background through my dad being a professional pitcher in Mexico, and he always kind of grew me to become a baseball player. And then I just picked up soccer when I was like 13. Throughout that, I had some challenges because he didn't really allow me to play soccer. He wanted me to play baseball. So the challenge of me trying to convince him that I had some kind of talent in soccer or that I liked soccer more than baseball, that was one of the biggest challenges in my life as I was growing up. And then, of course, like I mentioned, just the resources weren't there. But, I was able to make it through, to break that by a lot of stuff. But, as far as my professional experience or journey, it's one of those things where you just work hard at what you like doing, and then all of a sudden someone sees you, and it opens doors. So that's kind of what happened to me, and I was able to have a career for 14 years playing at that high level. But I never saw myself there, to tell the truth. I just fell in love with soccer, and then all of a sudden I just built a passion, and people just saw me, and people said that I was pretty good. And then, of course, as I got older, there was bigger opportunities, and then, of course, me coming here at Santa Ana College also helped me with that journey to becoming a professional athlete. As for your experience as a pro soccer player, has it influenced your coaching style and philosophy in any way? Absolutely. Well, first of all, I never wanted to become a coach. I think I share that story all the time with a whole bunch of people. I did not want to become a coach. I knew that when I was playing professional, I used to come here to kind of get ready for preseason or camp. So I would talk to my former coach and say and asked him if it was okay if I would just kind of work out here on my own or with the team while I was getting ready. And he said, sure. And then, long story short, one day he approached me and he says, why don't you just help me coach? There's a lot of, the system, what I expect here from these kids, and you can help these kids. And they look up to you now that you're playing professional and you came out of this place. And so I said, no, that's not for me. So I didn't really want to become a coach. But then he kind of convinced me. And again, just like soccer, I built this passion of coaching. And now that's what I love doing. It's just giving back what I received as a coach. And that definitely helped me in a lot of ways to continue my career in this sport. What specific characteristics do you look for in college athletes who are recruited to your program? Well, one of the biggest things I look for is commitment. I'm looking at one guy that's committed, that was really committed, and that was you. That's kind of the model that I want here. Commitment is huge in our program because we're a junior college. We only have you guys for 2 years, and it's very important that they're committed to 2 years, so that way we get the best out of them and help them, get to the next level. Just transform them into becoming better persons and, of course, better students. And that's why I expect a lot of commitment. With that, of course, there's a lot of things that go along with what I expect from them as an athlete. It's hard worker, positive attitude, humble players that can get along with the rest of the players, because I do tend to recruit a lot of good players, talented players from high schools, like, for example, a whole bunch of MVPs from different kinds of high schools, and then when they come here, I expect for them, of course, to gel and to bond. And if they don't have that humbleness, that kind of trait, then it makes it a little harder. So those are the kind of things that I'm looking for that player. They don't necessarily have to be the full package, but a hard worker can go a long ways for me in this program.
So most of all, you would say their mentality is a really important part.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the components in this game that I teach. The psychological part is huge. We have kids that want to make it to the next level, even to the next level, which is a pro level, and that's hard to do. Because the mentality is not there. And then you have kids where they're super young, and you see the mentality is like, wow, this guy's really advanced as far as his mentality, the way he carries himself, the way he works, the way he plays, the way he talks, the way he walks. So that is huge because is he's already one step ahead of where he's supposed to be. So
Yeah.
it makes it easier.
In your opinion, what's the key differences between playing soccer, let's say at the professional level, and at the college level?
Oh my gosh, it's huge. I mean, the levels just go from like 1 to 10. As far as the level, you're facing robots at that level. You're facing monsters. You're put into a cage with other lions, and if you don't prepare yourself mentally and physically, I mean, you're not going to last long. College is somewhere around there, but not at that level. I talk to the kids a lot about if you do this at the high level, you'll probably get cut or you'll probably lose a paycheck. It's more responsibilities, put it that way, because you're working for a paycheck. You're working to stay consistent at that level. You're working to keep a job. And at the college level, of course, it's more of to try to compete for a spot or for playing time. It's not for a job. It's not for, you're not getting paid. You're not getting cut. You're not getting, famous. You're not getting, all these other things that come along with being a professional athlete. So at that level is super hard. It's more the consistency. That's what's hard at that level, at the pro level. At the college level, of course, you have 2 years or you have 4 years and then you're done. And some of these athletes, sometimes they don't realize that you need the full potential out of 2 years or 4 years to get out of there to transform yourself into a better player to make it pro if you want that. So there's a huge difference. The way you train, the way you eat, the way you take care of your body, the way you also study because you have to study things from the coach, formations, plays, et cetera. The way you train at gyms, the way you do things like that, it completely changes. Big difference between college and the pro level.
At the end of the day, you would say that they're working to earn that paycheck and they don't want anyone else to take it from them. So it's very cutthroat.
Absolutely. I mean, when I was a rookie at that level, I always wanted what that guy that was in front of me had, and that was a playing time, that was a nicer car, a nicer paycheck. So you're always working hard to get to that point. And when you get to that point, when I got to that point, then it was me trying to make sure that I was always consistent, making sure that I was always working twice as hard because I knew I had a young kid or two very hungry to take what I had, where I was at one time. All within in positive spirits. It wasn't like negative stuff. It was more in positive spirits. Like I really wanted to become a starter. I wanted even a jersey number. I wanted number 10 instead of number 99. How I started, little things like that. You'd be amazed how it happens in the pro levels. I think Messi was number 19 when he first started, and then all of a sudden, of course, he got number 10. That's just one little thing. He wasn't a starter. He comes off the bench and then he becomes a starter. So things like that. Definitely, you have to make sure that you're always on top of your game.
What advice would you give to young soccer players who aspire to play at the next level, whether it be college or professional?
At the college level, it's more of make sure that you continue your education. I mean, if you're coming out of high school, continue that. Don't stop. Um, of course, continue playing. If you love this game's about passion. It's more continue playing. Go to college. You're gonna be in a good environment. You're playing, but you're also studying. So you're gonna get like, two good things out of your commitment to whatever college you want to go to. And then at the pro level, I mean, keep dreaming. Don't stop just because someone says you can't do that or you're not one of those players. Don't stop. Everyone has a dream. You never know. I'm always out there training hard at club level, high school level, college level, and you never know. I might have the next national team player out there, or the next Olympic player out there, or the next Barcelona player, or whatever league at the highest level. So, continue dreaming, continue working hard, but you also have to understand that playing pro is not for everyone. It's such a small margin of just opportunity, and also for players to make it. So
Yeah.
but I don't, I don't stop them from them to continue to dream to become a pro.
How do you balance the development of individual players with the overall team's performance and success?
Well, there's two things in what I work well here, and that's individually, and that's of course a team. I've always said that individuals are going to win a couple games for us, if they're good and talented and all that. But a well-worked team is going to win us championships, and that's what we're about. But when you break it down, like for example, when we start camp, I always tell the athlete to worry about themselves, to prepare themselves first. As an athlete, you have to be ready, you have to be fit, you have to be strong, you have to be mentally aware and also healthy or fit, whatever you want to call it in that way, because you're fighting for a position or a spot on that team. Once you make that team, then of course the most important thing that comes in hand is working as a group to see if you can bond with that guy that's in front of you, behind you, next to you. But if you're not prepared individually first, you can't bring that to the table. You can't bring that to me as a team. I'm more big, of course, in a team than an individual, but it starts with the individual getting ready. So, of course, there's a big difference. The individual has to go home by himself. He's not going home with the team. So what do you do away from us? That's very important. For example, a lot of players don't understand that. How do you carry yourself away from us? That's huge. And then of course the good individuals that I see that are going to do well are always the ones that show up first to practice, the ones that leave at the end of practice, the ones that are always there, committed, 100%. I think that those are the players that will develop and become better players, because like I said, it's an overall thing. It's not just when you get to the field. It's what you do also away, and what you do coming to us. Like I said, to be successful, you have to bring all those individuals. Hopefully their mindset is just as strong as the next guy on his team. And if that's the case, then it's a lot easier, because now you have a team that thinks the same, that understands the same philosophy or same formation, or the way the team plays or the program runs. That's when you become a good program. So at the end of the day, the team is always going to be bigger than the individual.
Would you say then that as long as each player does their best to take care of themselves and prepare themselves in the best way possible, it could only benefit the team?
Absolutely, 100%, 100%. If I'm ready to make that program, and say I come in as a forward, I'm going to worry about what I need to do, my job, or whatever coach wants me to do, whatever my duties are. And then of course, if I can do that with all the components of the game, I think I'm going to be really good for my team. I can't think of me getting ready just for me, for the individual, like for the stats. I have to get ready for the team, not for myself. But it starts with that. It helps the team, it helps the coach, it helps the program, and definitely helps you, because you're going to be prepared.
How did you get the opportunity to move onto the pro level, and did you struggle in that transition, or was it a smooth transition?
Um, wow. I mean, I got there by working hard, I think. If I wasn't working hard, if I wasn't committed, if I wasn't doing these things that I just talked about, I don't think I get that opportunity. No one's going to see me. It's always like I say, you have to make noise for someone to hear you or see you. I remember me playing in the weekends and just showing up early and getting ready and getting motivated to just go out there and kick a ball, and to compete against the team that's in front of us. And then, like I said, making noise. I was always making sure that I always like seen, that I was always the one, that I wasn't hiding behind, not doing hard work, like not hiding behind the scenes in a way on the soccer field. And what I mean with that is, like I said, my voice, the way I trained, the way I played, the hustle. And when you do that, people, they're gonna see you. They're gonna start talking about you. So that helped me big time. And then of course, once I got into something more functional and more organized, like college, I started preparing myself better, as in a way of, now I was going to the gym, I was doing extra work, lifting weights and doing cardio more, and eating better, because I knew that it was an environment, and it was a level that I knew that I had to elevate to be successful. You do that, that's when stats come, and when stats come, then you're doing your job, because of course you're earning those. I mean, people are going to be out there watching you, and they're going to be talking about you, and that's when you get all these accolades as far as MVPs of your team, and offensive player of your team, and then MVPs of your conference, and MVPs offensive player of the team, making all-star teams, making state teams. That's what I went through, and that's when I kind of started to figure out that, like, okay, I think I have some kind of talent, because if I'm making these kind of teams, then, and people start talking about you, or who you are, or where you're playing at, and all of a sudden someone's going to give you an opportunity to try out for a professional team, or you're going to be in an environment like myself. I got landed into the state team, so I was traveling all over the country to play against other states because I represented California South, so we were playing against other teams that represented their own states, like like Arizona, like Utah, New Mexico, and stuff like that. And then I made the regional team. Now we're competing against teams from the East Coast and teams from all over the part in the country. And then of course I did well with the regionals, and then of course I got an opportunity to go try out and train with the Olympic team. I was in Colorado Springs for like 6 months and just doing combines and just playing games and training at the high level. I also had an opportunity to train with the national team for a couple of weeks, and I only did that because, like I said again, people see your work, and then of course they know who you are, and you get these great opportunities. But it's all because of the hard work. It's not because of just my name or whatever. It's hard work.
At the end of the day, there's no one direct path to reaching your goal of where you want to play. It all comes down to how much work are you willing to put in and what are the sacrifices that you're willing to take on.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned sacrifice, man. I can digest that word in so many different ways, but sacrifice is it. Sacrifice. If you don't have that, I mean, things are not just going to be handed out to you. A lot of people say, how did you make it? How did you become that pro? I can say I had a lot of necessity, growing up. I wanted to get out of there, and I knew that with necessity, I needed to sacrifice. I needed to sacrifice every minute, every second, every ounce of my sweat, every whatever my body to sacrifice to see if I get an opportunity like that. But like I said again, I started with just playing with passion. I just wanted to play. I just loved the game. I didn't know that I was gonna fall in love with the game of soccer this much, to the day. And then through that, of course, like I said, opportunities, and then just being committed and sacrificing. I sacrificed 14 years of my own personal life as far as like I would have friends partying and going out and doing this and vacation and socialize, reunions, birthdays and weddings and whatever, quinceañeras in our culture. I didn't go to a lot of these events or things like that because I had to sacrifice that I was a pro athlete and I needed to get my rest, or I was traveling, or I had to put an extra hour or two in the gym instead of going to a party like that, or I had to get my sleep in before going out, stuff like that. So it is a lot of sacrifice. You go through a lot, but at the end of the day, if you do it the right way, it's going to pay off. It's a short career, but it's a nice career. There's a lot of things that you get out of it, a lot of great things, benefits from it, and of course, like I said, you never know how far you can go in the sport. I mean, you're looking at the top athletes, what they make and how their lifestyle and all that, and I wasn't at that level. I didn't get to that level, but I got close to that level where I can you can taste it, you can see it, and going back when I started and me playing, the opportunities that these players have now are way better than when I started. Being a big pioneer in this country for this sport, it feels good because I can say that the pioneers that started in 1996, especially if we're talking MLS, we were part of a league that started. We were part of something that always would fold. Every time a professional league would start here in our country, it would fold within a year or two because it didn't have that attention, it didn't have that attendance, it didn't have those sponsors. And now when MLS came, we made it happen. So I feel proud of that because we struggle in this country to make soccer happen the way it is now. Now it's seen like you see it everywhere. You see it on TV, you see it everywhere, you hear about it. Everyone knows what the MLS is. Everyone knows what the teams are, and they compete against teams from other countries to the highest level. So we made that happen, and you feel good about that. But sometimes in my little body here, I think, man, I wish I was around this era, because I would have had a lot more fun. Not that I did in my era, but they have better things to prepare themselves better. So that's why you see teams in the national team a lot better now than in the old days because of that.
Can you share a memorable success story of a player or a team that you coached that had a lasting impact on you?
Wow, I mean, geez, if we're talking here, I mean, I've had a lot, but I mean, I think every team impacts me in a way, but in a different way, but like impact. I mean, we can talk about the 1999 team. That's one team that I remember that it's hard for me to forget every individual, every game that we played, what we did that year, because it was almost like a goal that we had. Not that we don't have goals every year, because we do, but that 1999 team, I mean, remind you, we went 25 wins, no losses, and no ties. And at that level, at any level, it's very hard to accomplish. I don't care if you're playing Pee Wee football or AYSO soccer, or you're playing whatever it is, to college, to pros. It's hard. I shared that in 1999. I was playing with the Galaxy still, and I would walk into the locker room every year we won a game, and every time we would win, I would walk into it. And we created this. My teammates with the Galaxy would always ask me every time I would walk in that locker room, "Did you win today?" And I would say, "Yep, we won one more." So it started like that. And then with the team here, we took it as, okay, we're going to take every game like it was our last game, and we're just going to go out there and just compete at the highest level together. And I remember I had a group of about 23 players. That was it. It was fun to watch. We won 25 games. We didn't tie or lose a game. So we just put that team into our Hall of Fame, which we should have put that team a lot sooner, right? We inducted it into Hall of Fame for that reason. I see a lot of those players come back and say hello. They come back and watch our games and support us. And then, of course, they come into play in our alumni games. But man, that team still holds a special place in my heart. But the impact, yeah, those kids were, man, they were not only talented, they bled for each other. They made it happen. It was them. So that's one of the teams. But man, I've had a lot of teams. In a way, like I said, they have a different impact in my memory. Yeah.
For the strategies that you use to motivate and inspire your players to perform at their best, both on and off the field, what would you say they are?
Gosh, I think I'm a big motivator. I like talking a lot, but I'm a very demanding coach. You know yourself. I'm very demanding. I expect a lot from you. I always tell my athletes that I would never get mad at them, but I'll get disappointed because if they're here with me at the college level, at the club level, at the high school level, I take my job serious. I want to get them to the next level, and my whole thing is preparing themselves the best I can. And so I push them. Like I said, I demand a lot, and when that doesn't happen, of course, I get disappointed. And I always tell my athletes, I'm allowed to get disappointed. But I will never get mad at you. I'm a big motivator. I'll break you down hard, but then I'm the first one to build you right back up positive. And the motivational that we do with the kids is, I feel good about it because, I get a lot of kids that not only, they don't have everything in life. There's a lot of kids that come in here not having much, or kids that basically were in my path or my footsteps, in their life, in their journey. Kids that don't have a father, a mother, or family, or kids that are here by themselves, or kids that have a lot of issues and problems away from us. So, the motivational part kicks in because I'm not only the head coach or the coach for them, I'm a friend, first of all, I'm their counselor, man, I do a lot of things. I'm their father at times. I do a lot of those things. And the biggest thing that I can do for them is motivate them and keep them positive and making sure that they walk with their head straight up, realize that life sometimes can be hard, but if you just stay positive and you get your head up, you're in a good environment. That's what I try to create here where they're at. I think that I can help, and I feel that I've helped a lot of kids that way because the reaction that I get from them when they come back, when they finish for me and they come back, is always good. It's always positive, and that makes me feel good when a kid can come back and say, "Coach, man, you were part of my life for 2 years or more, and man, you made a huge impact in my life just by being positive with me, just by motivating me." And that's what I use. It's a tool. Motivation can go a long ways, if you do it the right way, the correct way, and it depends who you have in front of you.
How has coaching at the community college level enriched your life and helped you grow as an individual?
Oh boy, geez. Like I said, I wasn't expected to be a coach, especially here. I mean, we had one of the best coaches, if not the best coaches in the whole state of California at a community college level. And he's the one who kind of showed me or opened the path for me to be here. And now, I mean, look around you. I mean, it's just been success after success. Again, just like playing with passion, I have a passion coaching. To me, I'm not a big believer of that winning is not everything. To me, winning is everything. And I think that that's what needs to change because that mentality of not winning is everything, I don't think it's a good mentality that we're teaching our youth. We got to teach them that winning is everything because when you teach them that, they work for what they want. They work harder. They're more committed. They want it. And of course, winning feels good. Of course, there's times where you're going to lose, but from those losses, you build a lot of things, character. You build a lot of stuff that is going to help you to win more. Being here at this level at this college, it's taught me a lot of things in life, not only in the soccer field but away from it. But as far as being successful and coaching wise, I love it. I love it because it's you create a family. Every year I have 30 kids of mine that are mine for 4 or 6 months, and I feel like I said, like I'm a lot of things to them, and I have the privilege to have them for that long and just have them work every day on something that is going to help them in their development, in their future, not only, like I said, soccer wise, but school wise. And you're part of that. As a coach, I mean, my dedication is fully 100% when I'm here to whoever I'm coaching. So at this level, I mean, I'm blessed. I've been here. This is going to be my 29th year. I'm going on 30. I don't know when I'm going to retire, but I know that it's close. I'm going to continue working hard and with passion, and just to help these kids, like I said, getting them to the next level. Because I'm only as good as what I can move going forward. If I can't, then I'm not doing my job. I don't feel good about it because I didn't move you forward, and that is not a good feeling. It doesn't sit well. Even though if we won a national title or a state title or a conference title, if I can't move you forward, then it doesn't sit well with me. So that's my biggest motivational thing too. It's having you guys move forward, having you guys receive, for example, your athletic scholarships, your grades being at a 3.0 or higher. We had so many this year, past years. That's the motivational of coaching for me. Yeah.
From all the advice that you've given to our viewers, Coach, and all the valuable insight that you gave about not only coming up through youth soccer, but also moving on to the college level and potentially to pro, I think it's absolutely super valuable insight for all the viewers. They could really take a lot of things away from this. And other than that, I'd really like to thank you for helping us out with this interview.
Thank you, guys.
And it was good seeing you again, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, guys.
Coach.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.